Hey everybody, welcome back to another Judgment commentary of Nekomonogatari White, but today we're going to be checking out the last episode of the arc, episode 5. But last time in episode 4, we saw the return of Episode. Remember Episode? He was that half-human, half-vampire dude who appeared during Kizumonogatari, and, well, he actually had a relatively casual conversation with Hanekawa, which was very strange because the guy literally tried to kill her, as he pointed out. And he dang near succeeded. But despite that fact, Hanekawa was able to just kind of casually chat with the guy, which I believe she did address that was weird, and it just, further goes into how she is, just willing to accept anything that happens to her. I mean, she was willing to accept her just dying when it happened, so this isn't really too surprising. Nothing can frazzle this girl. But we were also introduced to one Izuko Gaien, who she's actually been alluded to a couple times in the past, like with Kaiki when he said he was looking for the child of one Gaien, but that Gaien was not Izuko, that was Suruga's mom. And if that were the case, we already know that she is definitely related to Suruga, but I'm thinking that she would be Suruga's aunt at this point, probably something along those lines, but who friggin' knows. They also hinted at her briefly before, too, back in Nisei when, they were talking about the occult club that Meme and Kaiki were in. They also said that there was an upperclassman who was in that club with them, and Izuko said that she was an upperclassman of Meme's, so that would imply that she was also in the club. But here's the most interesting thing about Izuko Gaien, and it's that she is the antithesis of Hanekawa, because Hanekawa frequently states that she knows a lot of things, but that she doesn't know everything. And Izuko is the exact polar opposite. She has claimed that she knows everything. Everything, that she just has complete omniscience, which is hard to believe, but she has definitely backed it up with a lot of evidence. I don't know what could happen that would make one gain full knowledge of everything in the universe, but sounds pretty dang broken. Anyway, both Izuko Gaien and Episode are here in town to do something. I guess they're here hunting an oddity, but the oddity is actually not the tiger. She said that Hanekawa would have to deal with that by herself. We don't know why they're here. Episode seemed to think it was because of a vampire, because that's what he specializes in, but who can say for sure? I mean, if there was another vampire in town, I feel like I'd probably have heard about that, but you know what? Actually, no. It probably wouldn't pertain to Hanekawa, so there's a good chance that I wouldn't have heard about that. So certainly interesting stuff going on, but there's still a lot of questions that remain to be answered, and we're here on the last part of the arc, so we'll have to see how that goes. But last we left off, Hanekawa was writing a letter to Black Hanekawa, probably so she could, at least try to communicate with herself, given that she's not getting any memories from her at this point, so let's see how that goes. What do you say? Man, as I was saying during the credits, this arc was truly something else. I mean, so far, I'd say it's been one of the most compelling narratives that we've gotten out of any of these arcs as of yet, and I can see why a lot of people were rooting for Monogatari series' second season to start, because this was really good, honestly. I think that most of this arc, while kind of slow in places, definitely worked into its advantage in the sense that it was build-up. It was building up to the finale here, and doing what Monogatari does by just seeding little bits of smaller information that they can utilize later, like that stuff with Episode and Gaien. Didn't really amount to much for this arc, but it's going to be something they, pull from later, I assume. Especially if they're going to be handling this in a more Bakemonogatari-esque way, where they set up things beforehand and they, draw from them later to use. And honestly, one of the things that feels so fulfilling about the end of this arc is that Hanekawa has been consistently one of the most emphasized characters throughout the entire series, just without a doubt. She's been there from the very friggin' beginning, and, throughout most of the series, she kind of remained stagnant, unchanging, with the only, bits of intrigue for her mostly being, when the cat was showing up and all that. But that was, foreshadowing the true, deep stuff that she was having to deal with that we didn't really start to get until Nekomonogatari started. from the way she began, where there wasn't too much, going on when she was first introduced. She was just kind of present until they started to give her her own arc at the end of Bake, and then later on, all the other stuff with her own Nekomonogatari arcs. She really started to come into her own as a character. She became easily one of the most in-depth and nuanced that we've seen in terms of all the stuff they've established. That deep down, she was incredibly troubled. She was trying to be just this perfect person and, disregard any negative emotion or any negative things that are even happening at all. And it was probably just, a defense mechanism because early on in life she had to deal with a lot of terrible nonsense. But at the end of the day, it kind of stripped her of a certain degree of humanity, in that the human condition is about the ups and downs, the positives and negatives and all that. But she was mostly rolling with the positives and disregarding the negatives, and you can't really just disregard them. It gets pushed down into your subconscious, eventually leading to a number of mental health issues, but in the case of her, it just led to her creating supernatural phenomena that went around attacking people. It's a good parallel to that kind of stuff, that it's violent, uncontrollable, and you can't really just push it away. You have to kind of just accept that it's part of who you are in order to control it, that kind of thing. But yeah, like I already said, this arc came to a close in a very satisfying way, and seeing Araragi again, I felt exactly the way she did for some reason. We hadn't seen him in like 5 episodes, and yet seeing him here right now felt like it had been like 100 years. That's just how well they set that up. And he reacted the exact way I thought he would, because he just accepted her for how she was, because that's who she is, Her changing in some way doesn't mean that she's not still her. But that doesn't mean he's going to necessarily just, take all of any of her nonsense and accept it the way she was. He'll call her out if she's doing bad things, but he's not going to disregard her as a human being as a result. And heck, I didn't even mention that she finally got the guts to tell him how she felt. And of course, there was that look of shock right there on his face, but he eventually he regained his composure real fast and said what we all knew he would say. That of course, he's with Senjigahara, and he genuinely does love her, as it would seem. But he never truly loved Hanekawa, and that has been established very clearly. And it was that moment finally letting out that, emotional buildup that she finally, broke down and actually cried, weeped about it, which was just perfect. Felt a bit teary-eyed about it, actually. It was a very well-deserved cry. But anyway, I guess that's gonna be it for now, guys, but thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of this arc and of this episode, just in general. That would be fantastic. I'd like to know what you guys have to say on the matter, because there was a lot to unpack about this one. I guarantee you I have not even said and covered everything that happened in it, just because it was a pretty packed episode. But next time, we begin Kabuki Monogatari with, what the heck did they say that next arc was? I gotta go back and open it and see for myself. Mayoi Jiangshi? Is that how you say that? Or was that Jiangshi? So, a Mayoi arc. Again, it's been a long time since we've gotten one of those. Real long time. But, okay. I don't know what that is. Oh, that's right. I've heard of these. It's those hopping vampire things. What the frick? A hopping vampire thing? What? How? Oh, that's curious. Can't wait to see how that one's gonna go down. But from the looks of things, Kabuki Monogatari is gonna be a 4-episode arc. A little bit shorter than this one, but pretty up to par with some other arcs that we've gotten, like Nekomonogatari Black. But we'll see. It'll be interesting to get more my way, I guess. But like I said before, thanks guys, hope you enjoyed. And Monogatari series 2nd season has had a very, very good start. Can't wait to see what else we have in store, and I hope you guys are excited for it as well. But till we meet again, I will see you guys all later!